To help you achieve the best results from the lessons on Frank's YouTube channel, Frank has developed a range of quality products, including the watercolor brush set, which has the 1.5 and 3/4 inch goat ears and the number 3 rigger. Frank has also developed his own range of artist quality watercolor paints. These paints come in 12mm tubes and are the 8 colours Frank uses himself in his video tutorials. These products and many more can be viewed in detail at Frank's art store at simplypainting.com. If you prefer to order by phone, please use the following numbers. We ship worldwide.
What has this lovely tree got to do with where I am? Don't go away and I'll tell you.
Hello, it's Frank again. I've been with you all the way. Imagination is fun when it's free to run. Come on, we paint this a brand new day. Simply painting with Frank today.
Welcome, friends, once again to Simply Painting. Well, we're in America, and the connection between the nice tree is that I'm here in the Birches. That's what the area is called. I'm in America, obviously, and behind me is Moosehead Lake. Now, I thought we'd do something a little different, yes. What we'll do is we're going to do a sunrise. Now, it's evening time, so I've got to wait till the morning, obviously. Now, Dominic, the cameraman, is delighted. He's going to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. He's going to come back to this very spot, and he's going to take some pictures of the sunrise for us. And then we're going to paint it together. Won't that be nice? And afterwards we may go across to Mount Kineo, which is behind us. Anyway, I'm going to have dinner, and I'll see you all in the morning at 5 o'clock. Well, good morning, everyone. It's 6:15. Yes, the sun was a little late this morning. We thought it would be earlier. However, we've got some lovely pictures, so now we're going to head back to the studio, and together we're going to paint an American sunrise. Bird, and it flies there. This is the area they live in. Just thought you'd like to know. They're lovely. They make a gorgeous noise, yes. Anyway, let's head over to the old table here, get comfortable, and then get at it, yes. Ah, the sunrise, yeah. Did you notice anything peculiar about that sunrise? Hold on and I'll tell you, because I've got to tell you about the materials first. We need 5 of the watercolours, and they are lemon yellow, alizarin crimson, light red, burnt umber, and cobalt blue. Now, we've got 3 more, we don't need them, and in all probability we're not going to need our white gouache this time, but we leave it there just for safety. Yes, it's a great old safety precaution. We've got 3 brushes. We've got the large goat hair, we've got the baby goat hair, and we have the number 3 rigger. We have our tray to put the paints out on, we've got the water, we've got some cloths, and we've got a sheet of paper, and it measures 14 by 10. It's watercolour, 140 pounds weight, or 300 gram, and it's longwise, therefore we're painting a landscape. Without further ado, let's have some more fun. Horizon, sky, middle, and foreground. That's the little system, isn't it? Okay, let's get the straight edge on the pencil and get at it. Now, what was I talking about when I said there was something peculiar about that sunset, or sunrise, pardon me, 5 o'clock in the morning, or 6 or something. And let's have a look at it. Yeah, very hard to replicate a sunrise with any form of medium because it just is so wonderful, it's hard to capture it. However, we did our best. And the peculiar thing was, of course, there was nobody in it, was there? No, there was Dominic, the cameraman. He was there because he had to be. The director, Mr. Honeybale is his name, he was in bed, and I was on the porch making pancakes. So that'll just tell you. I did see it, but just to tell you, that's how this business works, you see, yeah. Directors stay in bed. We have to work, yeah. Well, now, let's put out the paint. I can say that this morning because he's not here. Yeah. Wait till he hears, he'll be furious. Anyway, it's a beautiful, what a sunrise, wasn't it? Absolutely fantastic, yeah. It's frightening. I'm putting out lemon yellow, I'm putting out alizarin crimson, they're the main 2. I'm going to find some light red, put it there beside it. That's just a deadener, if you like. I'm going to put out my cobalt blue, which will create my purple colour with the red. And last, I'm going to put out some burnt umber. That's them. 5 colours, that's it. Very seldom do we need much more than 5, isn't it? Because we can mix them, you see. Right, let's start off and knock in the sky. Now, let me tell you a little bit about the sky. Have a quick look back. The first thing we have to look at and see is that there's quite a bright area at the bottom. The sun was coming up, wasn't it? We've got to put that in first. The whole thing is kind of upside down this time. See, that's where you probably have found, if you've ever painted before, that there's a bit of difficulty in painting a sunrise, but there's not when you know how. Watch this. I'm putting some lemon yellow on my nice clean brush. It's the large goat hair, and I'm saying nice clean brush because it needs to be. If there's any dirt on it, of course, you'll lose that lovely vibrant effect. Now, the sunrise was a bit... Look, what I'm doing is I'm going to leave some white. If you look at the picture again, you'll see that there's white. Plenty of nice yellow there. Look at that. Now we're going to start adding in tiny, tiny bit of the red with the yellow. And a swipe across there. That's the bottom of the... You see what I'm doing? I'm creating the bottom part first. I know it's all reversed, but the brush, by the way, is not, I wouldn't call it dry, but it's not sopping wet, as sometimes it is. You know, you're not trying to cover the whole... Yeah, now we got that bit in, now we're going to go above it. Now I'm putting a tiny, tiny little bit of the light red into this mixture I'm making up now, because I don't want to be too strong. If it is, you just go in and lighten it a bit, isn't that right? Yeah. Now, one of the things you want to be careful with when you're painting this kind of sky is don't handle the paper too much in the early stages. I'm now going up the page. Look, I can go right up because, of course, all it's going to be now is going to get darker. I'm just wetting it. Now, as I say, be careful. Don't let your hands and your fingers poke around too much on the paper, because if you do, you'll get little spots. And I remember one time writing to the manufacturer, so I'm very good at that, yeah. Wrote to the manufacturer complaining that there was little rings all over my picture, and all these little circles, and requesting that they should replace the paper, you see, because it was faulty. I got a very courteous letter back saying, "Dear Frank, keep your hands off the paper. Maybe you won't get all those marks on." Because in actual fact, what I was doing was, I was sticking my finger into the paper, and lo and behold, I was creating little circles, because the ends of your fingers, there's some oil on them, grease. Yeah, you didn't know that, did you? Now, you see what I'm doing? I'm getting darker. I'm going to get a bit darker still, though. A little bit more. I'm going to bring it up a little more. One more swipe up. It's got to be really dark up there, because as well as that, you've got to remember it's going to lighten as it dries, so we've got to be careful about that as well. I think one more real good bash now and we're nearly ready to get the dryer out. What do you think? This is made with blue, the cobalt and the alizarin crimson, making a real good wine colour or purple colour. Yeah, it's lovely. Takes time to mix these colours. Don't be too impatient, or otherwise you'll end up with the wrong colour on your page, and then you got a problem. Now, that's the one I'm looking for. You see it? Now, you're dead safe doing this for as long as the paper is wet. Once that paper starts to dry, you've got a problem. So you've got to be finished. 2 minutes still works. I think that's okay. Let's give it a bit of a bash now. And dry, look at that, and there's our sky in. So you take our time at it. It's the most important part of the picture, so don't go mad at it. Now we got to change to the small, the baby goat here. By the way, there was a reason why we didn't get up that morning. Well, I was up, but for the poor old director, I'll tell you what it is. Don't tell anybody. Our cameraman snores. He kept us awake all night, that's the truth. Oh, he's a devil, yeah. Terrible nice fella, but... And then he says he didn't. You know, you say, he blames you. Yeah, that's what... He's a lad. Now, I'm just to put in the two mountains now, one each side. So it's a mixture again of the blue and the red, and this time a little bit of burnt umber in them, because I'm going to darken them. Yeah, they need to be good and dark, yes. The sun was rising, and it comes up so quickly. That was almost actual time, and that was incredible, wasn't it? Now I think we're nearly there. Takes a lot of time to mix this colour, but I'd rather we took our time and got it right, and even test it. Nah, that's not bad, is it? Right. Okay, whichever side. Hey, just realised something. Whoa, error, error. Clean your brush. Look at the picture again and tell me what I did wrong. Well, in the distance there, do you see it? There's a little faint mountain away in the distance, which I'd nearly forgotten about. Got to put him in first. So let's do it. There he is, look, way off, yeah. Boy, it's a good job. You reminded me about that, wasn't it? You're probably sitting there saying, hey, he's forgot the mountains in the distance. Always paint light to dark. You got it, yes, of course. There they are, look, they're in. Give them a we get into this heavy stuff here. Sorry about that. Yeah, it's a little bit of a backtrack there. Always keep checking like that, because none of us are infallible, you know. We all make mistakes. Now, if I had put in the mountains, of course I could have cheated, put in the other ones afterwards, but it's not as good. No, you're better off doing it this way. So you're going to... that's what there we are now. Okay. Let's go now. Big mountain this side. It's right up high. It comes down like that. See it? I don't know what these mountains were called. Except big mountains, maybe, I suppose. Right down to the... And then fill it all in, right down to the horizon line. Come on. Needs to be good and dark, so don't be afraid to put plenty of... Now, you see, what I'm doing here is I'm using these colours, the 5 colours, and the 5 I have, yeah, and I'm mixing them to make different colours. Now, what I suggest you do, for those of you who's been painting now for probably a couple of weeks or whatever, once you get the hang of the old painting and realise you can do it, this is what you do next. You then get yourself the 8 tubes of paint and you mix them together, one with the other. And whatever colour you get, you put that to one side. So the next time you need to get a colour, instead of having to poke around in the dark, so to speak, that went like that a bit, didn't it? Yeah. You just look up your piece of paper. It's called a colour chart, and every artist has one. Sometimes you're asked to do these things the first time you arrive into the school. You know, you arrive in first night, sit down, let's make a colour chart. No, you say, no, I want to paint a picture first. And I totally agree with you. Colour charts are for later. And you don't have to do them all in the one sitting. Take your time. You can say, well, we'll mix the yellow and the blue and we see what kind of colours we get there. It's a green, obviously, and the pane's grey, you get a different green. Now look at our mountains. Hey, a bit of a point on that one, isn't there? I think we make him a bit. Take a bit of that. Take the point off him a bit. He's a bit too... That's better, isn't it? Go for that. Yeah, that's great. Now, but mix you'll make up a colour chart over a period of months or whatever it is, and you'll have your own mixtures. Some with more red and less red or whatever it is. And it's infinity, yes. Now, look back again to the picture, and now we've got to put in that light which is reflected from the, see it there? Right down onto the picture. Let's do that next. And we need a good clean brush again. Always when you're painting light colours, make sure your brush is as clean as you can get it. Now, I don't suggest you should go off and throw out the water and start again. You should be okay by using a faint mixture of the, there it is, let's see. Ah, it's pretty good, isn't it? Yeah, lemon yellow, let's do that. Right, one swipe right across. See it there now? I'm nearly happy with that. I'm nearly happy, I said. Not really happy, nearly happy. There you go. Go down a bit lower there, yes. That's the reflection of the light up there in the sky. And our next move now is, we're going to start doing the very same thing, big brush again, exactly the same as we did in the sky. Take some of the lemon yellow and the light red. Sorry, the lemon yellow. I'm getting it all wrong, haven't I? Lemon yellow and alizarin crimson. Get those two first. Get that kind of nice lemony shade. See it there? And then we're just going to... See it? Nice and steady across the page. Don't go too quickly. Take it easy, but make sure it's straight. Otherwise it'll look silly. Now we can start getting the darker colour in, which will represent up here. So blue and red. Blue and red gives you purple, doesn't it? Of course it does. Go on, tell me. Now, I've got a big piece of blue stuck on the end of my brush there. You see it? Did you ever find that there's days like this when everything seems to Murphy's Law? If it can go wrong, it will. Well, we'll just have patience with it. It'll all will be corrected in the end. There we are now. I think we got some. Think about the old painting as though you're here and you forget all about your cares and woe and everything else and all the fun and everything else. Now, let's see, how are we getting... I've got to just make a couple of swipes more here now. See, we've got to show you what we're doing, don't we? Yes. There we go. Now we can put in some dark colour, can't we, and a bit more. Now, I think we can do a little drying job then we'll stick in our mountains. This is coming on quite nicely, isn't it? If you find that it's not dark enough, you dry it and then you go over it. You don't try and go over it while it's wet, because you'll have a mess. Now, mountains. So we got to now show the two reflections, see them left and right, yes. And they're the very same as the mountains themselves, or you should try and get them to look the very same, because what they are is a mirror image in the lake, isn't it? That's what it is. So I'm making up some paint here that hopefully will be the same colour. It's the blue, which is the cobalt. It's the red, which is the alizarin crimson, and it's a little bit of the burnt umber. That gives it that kind of browny colour. See it there? Yeah, that's fine. Now let's, I'm going to leave a little gap. See the little gap there? That's just to kind of, see that? Just to leave the effect that there's a bit of light coming over the mountain. Now I must lean back there to give you room to see what I'm doing. Isn't that the idea? Yeah, let you see. Now it's near enough the same, right? That's pretty close, isn't it? Then there's a kind of a nothing there. We just go over there again and we do the same thing on the far side. Come up that way. Now a trick, it's not a trick, it's something that many artists do. If you want to, you can turn the page upside down. I'd have to undo it from here, which would make it a bit awkward, but you could turn the page upside down and paint this thing. You know what I mean? Turn it right around like that and paint those mountains on the other side. See, easy, isn't it? Now there we go. There's a bit of much paint there, isn't there? So I've got to be just a bit careful with this. I don't want to... How's that? Oh, we'll put a little bit more in there. Why don't we join them up? Now I know they're not joined up in the other picture, but they look a bit better that way, don't they? Yeah, you can always improve on the other one. Now, let's see how we're getting on. Yeah. Next move now, the small brush. Now we're going to put in some, do you see those trees? Look up over the picture there and you'll see there are some trees. Now that's a mixture again of the red, the blue and the brown. Give us a nice dark colour, see? Plenty of water this time because unfortunately this brush doesn't hold as much as the big ones. Now this, you take a bit of bravery. Dive in, don't be afraid of it, see? This is the time when the paper looks at you and says, don't you dare write on me. It does, it seems to have, I know people who are terrified of actually doing this. See that now? They were the overhanging branches, weren't they? Yeah, there's another one. We'll come down a bit more that way this time. Come on, let's go mad at it. You can go over them if they're not thick enough. See that now? Actually, that should be enough. Now we need to get small brush, dive into that paint. We're going to put the leaves on now, aren't we? Yeah. Get the brush nice and dry. Don't have it too wet. Check it again, make sure it's all right. Okay, let's see now. And then there's some there. They'll be quite dark, won't they? Yes. How's that look? That doesn't look too bad, does it? Now we've got one more thing to do. We've got a good bit of stuff to put in down the bottom here. So, the rocks, yes, that's where Dominic was standing, wasn't it? Yeah. He got all wet, the poor fella, too. He was standing in the water, but now never mind. He did a great job, though, didn't he, in fairness now? That's what's called dedication. Must tell you, you know, how did watercolours happen? You ever think of that now? How did they arrive? Well, in certain parts of the world, in England in particular, they believed that watercolours started about 1700 and that it was an Englishman who invented them. Well, I'm sorry to have to tell them that is not the case. There were some guys called Egyptians who were a little bit before them, and they actually, I am going to change brushes, that'll take me forever. They actually got at it before they did, and the Egyptians painted with watercolour in the tombs, in the pyramids and all that sort of stuff. They used a watercolour. Then after that, they were used by the monks. These were the guys who did the Book of Kells and all these things in Ireland, the Book of Durrow. All the illustrations in those famous books that was all watercolour. So you see, it wasn't the 1700s. It was way back 3,500 years ago these things were invented. Now, they then went into decline, if you like, because oils were considered to be, well, A, they were more permanent, and B, they were more chic, if you like. So they used to use them, the artists, as a sketching mode. You know, they bring along the watercolours and sketch, and then they go home and they'd get at the main picture, if you like. And that's what they did for a long, long time. And then a gentleman in England, in fairness to them, in about 1700 and odd, 1750s or thereabouts, he came along and he started to paint in watercolours. A fellow called William Mallet Turner. You heard of William Turner? Yeah. When he did these wonderful atmospheric-y kind of pictures with, or, you know, they were very yellowy, purpley, bluey colours, but brilliant. And he was the founder, if you like, in the sense that he brought watercolours back to what they are. Now, I'm just sticking in a few rocks, that's all. It's with the little rigger. It's with the same mixture exactly as I used for the rest of the picture. So you see, you don't have to go mad with millions of different colours and everything. I mean, while I'm at it here, I'm going to do something else. I'm going to put me pal, the bird, up here. He was up there. He was early that morning, yes. But anyway, that's how watercolours, and of course now watercolours are probably in their own right as good, or maybe I think better, for certain pictures certainly, than oils or any other medium. And the other thing about them is if you learn to paint in watercolours, you can paint everything else. Other way around, not the case. Yeah, you ask a watercolourist, can they paint oils? Oh yeah, I'll have a go. Ask an oil painter, see what will happen. So therefore, it's my belief that if you learn to paint in watercolours, you can handle the rest. That's beginning to look a little bit more there. This, you could do this with a bigger brush if you like, but I'm kind of foosted. I'm enjoying this, yeah. That's about it now. Let's get out my little marker now and do something here. Why don't I put it over here where you can see it? I always sign you a picture where people can see the thing, because otherwise, how will they know who it is when it's been sold in 100 years' time in Christie's for £1 million or whatever? Now let's put the old mount on and see what we've got. And once again, then it's Frank Clarke. I got to say to you, Slán Nath, which is goodbye in Ireland. And remember, try this out, and then you too can have some more fun.
To help you achieve the best results from the lessons on Frank's YouTube channel, Frank has developed a range of quality products, including the watercolour brush set, which has the 1.5 and 3/4 inch goat ears and the number 3 rigger. Frank has also developed his own range of artist quality watercolour paints. These paints come in 12mm tubes and are the 8 colours Frank uses himself in his video tutorials. These products and many more can be viewed in detail at Frank's art store at simplypainting.com. If you prefer to order by phone, please use the following numbers. We ship worldwide.